and welcome to Soap Secrets. We're back again with all the gossip, and I've got Victoria Wilson, our very own Holby expert, right here with us. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Hannah.
Right, it's a bit of a week, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well,
I'll let that hanging. I'm going to pass to you.
I think it's safe to say the latest Holby City was quite an episode that ended on a real shock note. So just to recap, obviously we had Andre and Evie had been rushed to hospital, having been stabbed. Kian and Fletch fell out, and the day's events proved too much for drug addict Kian, and obviously the seriousness of that situation soon came to light when just before the end credits rolled, it was revealed he'd taken a massive overdose.
Yeah.
This episode picks up straight on from that. I'm not going to give anything away except to say that Kian is in a very bad way. It basically falls to Fletch to sort of deal with he's sort of dealing with what's going on around him all the while he's obviously worrying about his daughter Evie, who sort of needs urgent surgery following the stabbing. He's basically forced to. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but he's kind of forced to watch on as she develops complications in theatre, and at one point it really looks like she won't survive.
Really?
Yeah, but Chloe sort of manages to save the day, so it seems it's sort of panic over for now, I guess. Anyway, so the story sort of takes a turn and becomes more of a family thing again for Fletch. Sort of Evie wakes from her op. She's sort of wanting to see her new boyfriend. So Evie comes round from her op and she wants to see boyfriend Andre, who's also been he's also been in surgery himself. He's not long out. Fletch, however, is adamant that won't be happening. So he's been sort of behind the scenes. He's been speaking to sort of Lucky and social worker Connor, who's been around the hospital, and he's had a chat with Andre, man to man, and he tells him that he's going to help sort of set him up with a new life away from the drug gang and away from Evie. However, when sort of Evie finds out her dad wants to split them up, she's livid. It sort of basically falls to Fletcher's new flame, Jenny Sinclair, to sort of try and reassure Evie that she'll meet other boys, and you know that there'll be so many doors.
But
open
you just
for
don't
her.
want other people interfering, do you? You need to see it for yourself, almost.
Yeah, well, she means well, and at the moment she's a young girl. It's new love, and she's just met this boy, and already he's being snatched away from her. So yeah, she's her dad said what he said, but Evie's adamant, like she loves Andre, and she tells her dad she will never forgive him. I suppose Fletch is sort of one of life's sort of problem solvers in that sense, but he never seems to be able to do right for doing wrong. So, well, not by Evie anyway.
Yeah, but then I suppose you're never going to, as a parent as well, you're never going to be cool, are you? I've realised that myself, I'm afraid.
Well, you know, we have to remember that Evie, so she's one of 4 kids. She's basically had to take on the sort of mother role at home after her mother died. But it's clear that she's sort of lacking that maternal figure, if you like, since her mother died. So I guess the question could be, could maybe Jenny fill that void? That would be an interesting one. It seems like there's a sort of bond emerging there. So that's definitely something to watch out for, I think.
But is that a good thing? That's the question I'm going to leave hanging.
This is Holby.
Exactly. And Josh and Ange, what's going on there?
Right. Okay. So this is getting a bit complicated. So obviously, Josh was. So their affair was revealed the other week, and Ange knew that, you know, if she was to keep her job, then she'd have to end things. So Josh came up with the bright idea, okay, you know, I really want to be with you, so if I can't be with you as my lover and my boss, then I'll leave. And, you know, I don't know if she so sort of totally appreciated the gesture, but she's like, well, no, we just need to end it. You know, we can't be together. So basically, after being rejected by Ange, he sort of this week, Josh is all set for his transfer to St James's, which will see him say goodbye, obviously personally and professionally, to Ange. However, the two of them they soon find themselves thrown together when they're basically forced to team up to treat. So it's an unwell. She's a mother, an expectant mother, and she basically, they find out she's got this condition, but she's obviously heavily pregnant as well. So it's kind of a double whammy for them. Anyway, the pair of them work together in theatre. They safely deliver the woman's baby early, and all is well. But then, like, the mother arrests. But working between the two of them, Josh and Ange kind of managed to save her life, and in the process they kind of prove themselves to be quite the dream team. You know, it's a really positive story. There's lots of smiles. They're in theatre. They managed to save a mother and a baby. It's quite amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously, as we know, Ange made a promise to Hanson that as Josh's boss, she would end their romance. But after working so well together, it seems that Ange can't let Josh go off to St James's, and she makes her feelings very clear.
Does she?
Yeah, she moves in for another smooch.
Ooh.
So,
well, teamwork, you know, makes the dream work.
Like things are very much back on.
Wow.
But I guess the question is Ange sort of going to throw caution to the wind and carry on their affair in
But he'll
secret?
have to move hospitals, but in secret.
No, I think they're going to just carry on under the Holby roof. So watch out for Hanson.
Uh-oh, on the warpath.
Yeah.
So another, great week in Holby, really, isn't it? It's all go. These storylines keep running and running. Is there going to be, do you think there'll be an end to the whole Keon one soon? Or is it just such a big storyline that it's going to go on and on?
Well, these things have a habit of, they kind of go on organically. So when one door closes, others open, and you know, it sort of takes on a whole new sort of life. So
New lease of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. There's always when you have lots of people in the mix, that makes for lots of great drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Victoria. And I'm going to welcome Claire Ruck now to the stand to talk about the rest of the soaps. Now, hi, Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
Now, there's no Casualty, is there, this week? Because it's, guess what? Football again. And because it's the second week of the Euros group stage, which will be on our TV screens, we won't be able to move for it. EastEnders, Corrie and Emmerdale are releasing all of this week's episodes on iPlayer or ITV Hub on Monday, the 21st of June. So you can watch them when you want, which is pretty great thing, I'd say. Works pretty well for me. So let's talk about Emmerdale first, given that there's no Casualty, because I don't know, you've got some news for me, haven't you? I can feel it.
I have, Hannah. Yeah, this is really going to shock you. Actually, it shocked me. So this week, Emmerdale's Kim Tate is found dead.
What?
I know, she's found dead.
I did not see that. They cannot lose her from that soap. I'm sorry, she's come back from the dead.
So, and also boyfriend Will is arrested for her murder. So
we called that. Well, not the murder bit.
I know, it's all very interesting, isn't it? So we the viewers, I mean, this is such a big week for this storyline, Hannah, because, you know, we've seen, you know, over the last month, poor Kim has been steadily being poisoned with diazepam in her brandy, and so this week, son Jamie thinks that Will is the most likely suspect to do this to his mother, and he finds diazepam in Will's toolbox and shows the photographic evidence to his mum. So this, we're looking at, this looks like a slam dunk. This looks, like he is the person. And the next day, Kim fills Jamie in on her plan to catch Will with on camera spiking her brandy. You can't just say, "Hey, I found some diazepam on you." Lots of people take it. It doesn't mean
just
say you're
stop drinking.
poisoning someone.
You just stop drinking brandy for a while, wouldn't you?
Yes,
surely.
She should do that only water for a month trial. That would help. So later, when he's at the Hop offices, Jamie receives a shocking call from the police to say that Kim has collapsed, and he races off to Home Farm, and he's greeted by the police arresting Will, and Kim's lifeless body is on the floor, about to be put in a body bag. How will Emmerdale cope without Kim Tate?
Well, I don't think they can.
No.
This is awful.
I know. It is shocking, isn't it? Because
it's really shocking.
She's the best villain. She's a great villain. There aren't many good female villains. I think that's a tricky one to pull off. And I thought Claire King, who plays her, she does it really well, doesn't she?
She really, really does. And I feel like she's such a intrinsically important part of the soap that, even when she's sort of come and gone previously, she is Home Farm, and she's so significant as a character that her going, I think, will leave a real dent, actually, don't you?
Yeah, massively. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm in shock now. I can hardly talk. But last week we kind of revisited the fight Aaron's husband and Victoria's brother Robert had with her rapist Lee, didn't we?
Yeah, this is a really complicated storyline, Hannah. So, viewers and fans really loved the Rob Rom. They really loved Aaron and Robert together as husband, and they worked as a great couple. And then, of course, about 18 months ago, Robert, he hit Lee, who had raped Victoria, his sister, and Lee died, and Robert was found guilty of murder. So. Fast forward on 18 months, Robert didn't want to see anybody from the village. He didn't want to see Aaron. He didn't want to see Victoria. But Victoria has started up a relationship with Lee's brother Luke. And we have discovered that Luke had a fight with Lee before Robert hit him. And it seems that Luke might have been the one to have delivered the fatal blow, making Robert innocent.
So how are they going to prove that? Will the police get involved?
Well, we're not quite sure about that yet. At the moment, Luke has only told his mum, so it hasn't gone anywhere. But this week, Victoria drops her bombshell about Luke and Robert to Aaron. Now, of course, Aaron, I'll be honest with you, Hannah. Personally, I feel Aaron without Robert is just flailing around the village. I know Ben's on the scene now, but really I think him and Robert were just such a great duo. And I know all the fans are desperate for Robert to come back. So will he make a return to the village?
I'm going to be a betting woman today, and I'm going to say yes. Yes, make it happen. In the absence of Kim Tate, bring someone back. Oh, my goodness me, I can't believe it. Okay, so moving on to Coronation Street. Now you're going to deliver some awful blow, aren't you, about Fizz and Tyrone or something. But actually it's not. This week's all about Leanne and Harvey in court because, of course, she has to face him, doesn't she?
Yes. Yeah, this is this is the week we've all been waiting for. Leanne has to go to court and she has to face Harvey. It starts off with a bang. These are nasty drug dealers, Hannah. We know that, and they mean business. Harvey does not want to spend time in jail, so. Little Sam, who has been banned from seeing Nick at the moment because he's all tied up with Leanne and all this violence, and of course we know that Harvey's henchmen had kidnapped Sam, so his mother Natasha has been really careful with him. He gives his mum the slip and he turns up at Nick's with a Father's Day card. Now this is a really big moment for Nick because this is his first Father's Day with little Sam. He didn't know this time last year when we had Father's Day, he didn't know that he had a son.
Yeah.
So So, and this is the first time Sam can give his dad a Father's Day card. So, this is a special moment for the two of them, and he really wants to do it. That's really nice. So he slips out to give his dad this card. But, of course, Harvey's sidekick is watching on. And as they leave the house, Nick and little Sam, shots are fired. That's scary. I mean, Sam's very little to have a gun fired at him.
Yeah,
no one
awful.
is hurt, Hannah, but, the message is clear, isn't it?
Yeah,
You couldn't
it is.
scream it any louder.
No, but does that mean that what does she do? Not testify?
Well-
I mean, at this point, it's all a bit too late, isn't it?
Yes. Well, she could lie in court. I mean, she's got to be in court. It's really, what does she say when she gets to court? So, this is being said to her. This message is being sent to her just before she goes to court. So, she's got a lot of thinking to do. And Sharon, Harvey's aunt, is back on the street. Sharon, she is bad through and through, I think. But
Yeah.
she was very unhappy about little Sam being kidnapped. And she did try and warn Leanne that the shots were going to be fired. Harvey's gang picked up on this, and she is also beaten, really, really beaten. And she pitches up at Rita's, beaten, blooded, a bit upset, and she wants £10,000 to start a new life, Hannah. £10,000. Will Rita give it to her? And
Maybe. She has got a soft spot.
She has got a soft spot, hasn't she? And we both know that Jenny hates Sharon. And did you see the episode when Sharon tasered Jenny? It was brilliant.
You don't mess with Sharon. That's ridiculous.
A woman that carries a taser, you keep your 2 metre rule, don't you? I'm well back from her.
So this trial, how long is this, or the court case? It's beginning this week. Does it wrap up this week? Is it quick? Is it lengthy?
Yeah, no, we don't know which. I couldn't say which way it's going to go. But this is the week. It's not going to be a long trial. So both Sharon and Leanne have to give evidence this week. So will Leanne tell the truth?
I wonder. Okay. Now, it's the whole Alina Tyrone storyline. Now, that the Skinny
Yes.
Jean episode is absolutely hilarious. I mean, this is like a poor Tyrone. I mean, it's just quite funny to watch. But this probably does happen the world over. And this week, she buys him a motorbike. So he's got
know.
the skinny jeans, then he's had the tattoo, and now motorbike.
I know, it's brilliant. And I wasn't allowed to say last week that when he goes out in his skinny jeans, Alina drops something and they're so tight he can't bend down.
The thing is,
Brilliant.
it's so unlike Tyrone, though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't. He's not comfortable with this.
No. I know. I just thought that is so. This has been so well written, putting him in skinny jeans and then making him try and bend over to pick something up, and
It's
and
so
it's just not
relatable, though,
happening.
isn't it? It's
Yeah.
so relatable. I think you can absolutely see this happening. I mean, it's a
Yes.
proper midlife crisis, isn't it?
It is. And she also, I don't know where she's got the money to buy the motorbike. I mean, they're
Yeah.
expensive. She's doing well
Yeah,
in
I
her
don't-
beauty business.
She must be. Either that or it's Tyrone's many jobs.
So she gets him a motorbike, and he gets a tattoo on his arm of saying T&A, Tyrone and Alina.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So
Well,
cringeworthy.
at least he didn't put a name on. He didn't have Alina tattooed on his arm, because as soon as you do that, that's always the death knell to a relationship, isn't it? Because
Yeah, and I'm just trying to work out whether the A could become an F again.
I think you'd have to go to one of those places where they make it fade a bit before you re-tattooed over it.
Laser it a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But he does turn to Fizz this week, doesn't he? He has
Yeah.
to.
Yes, because we have shock news coming, really shock news. We were talking about how Claire King plays a very good villain in Emmerdale. Kirsty, who was a villain in Coronation Street. She was also a very good villain for a female. And this week we get news comes in that actually Tyrone's ex and Ruby's mum, let's not forget Ruby's mum, Kirsty, she has died suddenly. And, this is a big shock, for Tyrone, even if she was bad and evil, she's still Ruby's mum, and he has to find a way to tell his daughter carefully and sensitively, that her mum has died. So he does turn to Fizz to help him in his hour of need.
Well, Fizz knows, Ruby so well, and I think that probably that what Tyrone's done recently hasn't exactly put him in Ruby's good book. So,
No.
Fizz will be needed. So, in my mind, that means more time spent together, which means they might get back together. Anyway, moving on to Hollyoaks. It's explosive this week, isn't it? A proper explosive week, because two storylines properly crash into one another.
I know. I think this is done really well, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't see these two separate storylines crashing head on, and they really literally do. So I think this is a terrific piece of writing, Hannah. Really terrific. So. Firstly, the first bit of it is that Mercedes discovers that she's not pregnant when she goes for a baby scan. And we all know that stepdaughter Cher has meddled between Mercy and her dad, Silver. And, she meddled with a pregnancy test, and Mercedes thought that she was pregnant when she wasn't. She really hates her stepmom, Cher. So this was a really unpleasant, nasty thing to do. And so Mercy discovers this week that she's not pregnant when she pitches up for her baby scan. She's absolutely distraught. She really wanted this baby. She's really, really upset. And she's seen crying and screaming around the village. So everybody knows she's distraught. Elsewhere in the village, we've all been waiting for this one. I know you have, Hannah. Diana's waters break.
I know, but she won't leave the house, poor woman, will she?
No, she's had them all on a personal lockdown, not on a COVID lockdown. She wouldn't let any of them leave the house unless it was to go to work. So her waters break. She needs to go to hospital to have the baby. And Tony Hannah, he has a real fight on his hands to get struggling Diana into hospital for the birth. But she does finally agree to go, and she gives birth to a little girl called Eva. Isn't that a lovely name?
It's lovely. Absolutely lovely.
It is. But Diane's stressed. She's keen to go home. She doesn't feel the hospital is safe or clean. She's emotional, and she's struggling with her mental health. And finally, I think Tony thinks, we need to do something now. And as he's trying to sort Diane out, he leaves baby Eva in son Scott's care. And
a newborn baby already. Oh my goodness.
And Cher steals little Eva from her pram and runs off with her and places her next to a sleeping Mercy, framing her for the abduction of the baby. This is really horrible. A, Cher has stolen a newborn baby, and B, she is framing her distraught and upset stepmother, who thought she was pregnant, for the abduction. Will
Awful.
Diane... I know it is, isn't it? Will Tony and Diane ever see their little girl again?
Well, I mean, presumably they will, because when she wakes up and realises the baby will be given back to them, presumably.
Yes, one hopes so, yes. But will they accuse Mercy of stealing her, because she doesn't know how the baby got there?
No, it's so dangerous as well to put a baby right next to somebody who's sleeping. But anyway,
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing. Oh, wow. Gosh, I didn't see that coming at all.
No, because they were really two separate storylines running parallel to each other. And I really liked it when they crashed into each other. I thought that was very, very well done.
Yeah, agreed. They're good writers at Hollyoaks, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay, back in the square, EastEnders. Serial killer Gray still hasn't really got his comeuppance, has he? He's still on the loose, but he's pretending to be an upstanding member of Albert Square. For how long, we don't know, because I'm wondering if he's got his eye on another victim this week.
Well, has he, Hannah? And, so it was about September, October last year. So he's been getting away with Chantel's murder now for, good 8 months. Then at Christmas, he killed Tina, didn't he? wrapped her up in the shower curtain and popped her in the river. And then about 6 weeks ago, he pushed Kush under a tube train. So he doesn't look like he's being caught anytime soon. And he lives virtually next door to Detective Jack Brunning, doesn't he? And he's not sort of going...
Very poor. I'm very concerned about Jack Brunning's professionalism.
So I think that's really good. I think it's lovely they've got a detective living next door virtually to a serial killer.
Right under your nose, literally.
So does he have his sights set on Chelsea this week? So Chelsea, obviously, she's a grown woman, so she's not really Jack Brunning's stepdaughter, although Jack is dating her mum Denise. It's an extended family. He didn't have anything to do with her upbringing, but there is that connection there. And Chelsea, we all know, is never going to make Citizen of the Year, is she, Hannah?
No, really not.
She's got a bit of a nasty side to her. And so when she's in possession of stolen goods this week, she's taken in for questioning by the police, as is right and proper. And Jack, her mother's partner, suggests that she hire Gray as her solicitor, which is a sensible thing to do. And she approaches Gray about hiring him, but Chelsea doesn't want to pay money. She thinks that if she can flirt with Gray, she can get legal representation for free, and this makes Gray really unhappy about being taken for a ride. Should you upset a serial killer, Hannah?
Not knowingly, but I assume she doesn't know. Oh dear. This can't carry on. He can't get away with this forever.
No, he can't. He has to, at some point, something has to happen and he has to be caught. So, but I haven't spotted anything in the lines currently that is taking us down that route.
Okay. And we see Kathy finally going on a date with Rocky, and she's quite pleasantly surprised, I think.
Yes. Oh, this is such a nice storyline. So yes, she says yes to Rocky. It's embargoed what he actually does on the date, but he does not take her to the Vic for a swift half a lager. He does something nice and romantic.
Oh, that's nice. But he's got. Is he all that meets the eye? And you sort of feel when someone's nice in any of these soaps, to be fair, there's definitely a problem.
Yes. Yes, I mean he's very interested in the houses on the square. Now, we all read the newspapers. Those houses in Albert Square, I mean, it's a very nice London square, isn't it? Because you have houses around the outside and a nice bit of greenery with park benches. That's prime location, prime real estate. So he is interested in the houses on the square. And when Kathy's purse goes missing on her date and Ruby's house is also broken into, Sonia fears that Rocky isn't all that he seems.
I feel like I'm a betting woman today. I mean, that no one's ever as they seem, are they?
No.
It's a fair bet.
And they've got a big named, actor to play Rocky. So that says to me that, Rocky's going to be perhaps more of a ducker and diver than a good person.
Yeah, and we're going to go on a journey with him. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, thank you, Claire. Another absolutely great week in Soapland. We will be back next week. Enjoy the football if that's what you love, and if not, remember that you can watch all of these on catch up, or you can actually you can watch them straight away immediately this time, which is absolutely brilliant. We will see you next week, and we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.